we're going to the phone line to chat to actor, playwright and jazz musician Dave Anderson, who played Gregory's dad, Mike. Hello, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Ross. Great. Yeah. Talk about Gregory's Girl anytime you like.
Where did the Gregory's Girl experience begin for you? Tell us about your first meeting with Bill Forsyth.
I can't recommend this to all actors, how to get their first movie job. I met him in the pub. The whole community used to drink in a pub in Woodlands Road, the Halt Bar, and it was full of actors and film people and stuff like that. I don't know why he decided to. He'd maybe seen me working with 784 and Wildcat, you know. Mm-hmm. And he just bumped into me and he said, "How do you fancy a wee job in a picture?" Since nobody else had ever asked me that question before, I thought, that sounds like a great idea. So I had one evening rehearsal with the guy whom I was supposed to be teaching to drive, Billy Johnson, who was a mate, and with Bill, and in his flat, in his muse around that area in Woodlands. Huh? And then the next day or the day after, we went and shot, I don't know, it took about a couple of hours to shoot that scene. It was great fun. Now,
did you shoot any other scenes that weren't actually shown in the film, or was it just that one scene that you did?
On that occasion, that was it. That was my one and only gig. That was the job. A minute of screen time or something like that. It's not long.
Yeah, but it's a classic scene, though, and it's the one that a lot of people remember. What do you think the significance was of Gregory actually calling his dad Mike?
I don't know if it's got a lot of social significance or not. Maybe you could get away with that. You could only begin to get away with that by 1980. Calling your old man by his first name. Certainly my granddaughter these days is quite happy to call her parents by their first names. No, I don't know. I don't really know what the significance is. It was just cheeky.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a cheeky. The old man certainly saw it as cheeky.
What do you get most recognised for, Dave? Would you say it's City Lights, or would you say it's Gregory's Girl?
Oh, well, it's one or the other. I mean, really, it's either City Lights or Girl. I mean, the folks still... A guy, just the other week, a guy said to me, "Hi, Mike." And I said, "Sorry?" And he said, "No, you're supposed to say, 'Call me Dad, Gregory.'" He wanted to run the scene with me. He knew better than I did.
Now, how well did you know the late Jake Darcy, and what can you tell us about the man?
He was a great mate, actually, Jake. His local used to be that pub in Partick, which is now called the Sparkle Horse. I mean, later on he chucked the drink altogether. But he was great fun, a tremendous actor, yeah, and a very witty guy, and to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Sadly,
I was fond of Jake. Yeah.
Now, you didn't share any scenes with him, but did you spend any time with Chick Murray? Now, obviously, you were only on that one day, so I'm assuming you didn't see him on set.
Not on the picture, no. But
do you have any Chick Murray stories you can tell us?
Oh gosh, I'm getting millions.
Can you pluck something out?
The wrong question there. Far too many. I used to meet him. Actually, not just me, but everybody would meet him. We'd meet him on Byres Road, and he'd stop and spend the time of day with you. And then he would say, "Now tell me, Dave, when we bumped into each other, was I walking up Byres Road or down?" And you'd say, "Well, down, Chick." And he'd say, "Oh, I've had my lunch then."
So he was like that off screen as well.
He was a bit like that. What he meant was he'd just been at the BBC and had his lunch, subsidised, canteen lunch there, whether he was working there or not. He just loved the one about on the subway. He gets on the subway and he says to the wee lady sitting in the Glasgow subway, "Tell me, is there a buffet car on this train?" And the lady says, "No. No." He said, "Oh, I'll be starving by the time I get to Cessnock."
We've heard some great Chick Murray stories. There's so many great comedy actors in Scotland. Do you think the Scottish film industry would do well to churn out more films like Gregory's Girl as opposed to the usual stories of violence and crime?
Bobby Carlyle has managed to do both.
The legend of Barney Thompson. I have to say that's an exception. That's a fantastic movie.
That is a huge exception. And I think he probably paid pretty much for that himself. You know, he probably wouldn't have attracted the funding if he hadn't been Bobby Carlyle. Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Of course, we should be making far more of all kinds of different movies, not just comedies, but all kinds, thrillers and domestic dramas, and the gamut. Mm-hmm. We should be doing the whole lot. We should have a studio. We should have more than one studio. We should have an industry. We really don't at the moment. I think it's a real shame. You know.
They've got that studio at the moment in Cumbernauld where they're filming Outlander, and they're talking about possibly expanding that, I believe, in the future. You
mean expanding the actual studio in terms of size?
Yeah, throwing more money, throwing even more money into it, and keeping it going for other movies.
Well, that's great news, isn't it? I mean, that's
absolutely. Absolutely, and it's at the moment. I mean, Outlander's a massive success, and particularly in America, and so but there's so many of the Scottish actors turning up in Outlander. It's fantastic to see everybody getting some work. You're a jazz musician as well as an actor, aren't you? Tell us about that.
I'm more of a blues man than a jazz man. I like the blues, and I've been writing wee musicals for quite a while now, and. Some of them, well, all of them really have started at the Oran Moor, at the Play a Pint, the lunchtime theatre. Mm-hmm. And, got one coming up in June. Look out for it. Called The Day I Found the Blues. The Day I Found the Blues. And that's at the Oran Moor. Aye, in June.
Tell us about the Oran Moor pantos that you're involved with.
Oh, they're great fun. They really are. We play them for 3 weeks at a time. We do maybe 2 shows. Not maybe, we do 2 shows on most days. They're packed out, and the audience is just the best there is. They're fantastic. Mm-hmm. They're the kind of the audience that check their critical faculties in at the door with their guns, They're great. They're just great. Come in and just expect to be Waynes for grown-up people. I mean,
sure.
we don't get many Waynes. And as a result, over the years, it's got kind of looser and not looser in terms of the discipline of the performing of it, but it's got ruder over the years because we don't have to be concerned about the guardians of Waynes.
Sure.
The teachers and the parents.
When do those go out? Is there a specific seasonal thing?
We do Christmas and summer ones now.
Right.
So 3 weeks in July, we've got this wonderful tradition, which Dave McLennan invented 3 or 4 years ago, of the summer panto. Uh-huh. That's July, and then again in December.
Brilliant. Oh, that sounds great, and I'll definitely check that out. That's Oran Moor.
That's great fun.
Now, getting back to Gregory's Girl for just a second, what do you have a favourite scene or line from the movie that stands out?
The cookery scenes make me laugh.
The cookery scenes, yes.
Go away, small boy. What is it, small boys?
Go away, you small boys. That's right.
I'm sure Chick must have written that line himself. He's bound to have.
Did you ever jam with Chick? Because I know Chick, he wrote the tune for the film, didn't he? The Chick's tune, I think it was called.
We never jammed together. I don't think he was much of a jazz man. I don't know. He loved his country music. I know that. Mm-hmm. He used to do country songs with Maddie. That was part of it. He was very fond of country music, I think. No, we never had a jam session there. Afraid not. That would have been something to tell the Grand Waynes.
I certainly would. Chick Murray, what a class act. Thanks for taking the time out today.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, and I'll definitely get along and see you at the Oran Moor.
Okay, brilliant.
Cheers, Dave.
Take care now.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Black Sky Radio.